Now I bet you're thinking, what on earth are these people staring at? Well, that's a funny story. Let me start at the beginning. Meet my buddy Ruan. He's a master's student in environmental science, an adventure seeker, and blissful company at its finest. And this is me, Richard. Time's a pie, and most of my slices are devoured by university. I'm studying to become an engineer. However, as often as I can, I try and devote as many of my precious slices to the outdoors, and of course, documenting it in film. The story goes like this. Just over a year ago, my friend Ruan and I were sitting on the porch, soaking in the sound of my street's evening traffic. He said he prefers silence. He said he knew a spot. He said there are 2 trees in front of his apartment building, big enough to cancel out the city's song, given you're in the tree. He reckoned we should climb them and spend an afternoon between the branches in our hammocks. It wasn't long before my curiosity led me to these 2 trees. Now I wouldn't deem myself an escapist, but I'll bolt, flit, and flee from the suburban dream any chance I get. I gave the trees a quick look, and it was like I could already imagine what it would be like sleeping there, in the stars. In months to come, we'd live out this idea. We've watched lots of YouTube videos and mastered the art of tree climbing by practicing in our backyards. We'd spend entire afternoons mastering the craft of shooting a hook line over a branch. Trial and error was redefined, and sunsets came and went without any sign of success. We were 2 goal-driven, stubborn adventurers, and tenacious resilience was our motto. One random Wednesday, I spent my first night in a tree with surveillance camping right below me. My mum and brother dragged into the outdoors. Then, of course, there's the aftermath. We were hooked, completely fell down the rabbit hole. The trees in the suburbs weren't tall enough for us. The parks in the city weren't pretty enough for us. We wanted more. We wanted bigger adventures. We just weren't satisfied. We wanted silence. We searched everywhere. We measured the biggest trees we could find. Soon, this conscious measurement became subconscious. Our eyes just kind of found their way to treetops wherever we went. We never seemed to find one tall enough, never seemed to find one daring enough. Of course, we got distracted. 2 boys with stars in their eyes, we wasted away a lot of time looking at the trees we could find, jealous of the perspectives these giants had over the world, jealous of their view, anxious to steal it, plotting and scheming where we'd get the ropes long enough to give us a glimpse into their world. And then one morning, Ruan called. I found it! My bags practically packed themselves. With all our gear crammed in, I thought the linings of my backpack were already saturated with memories. As children, we loved climbing trees. It was a big thing to me, like learning how to ride your bike. I can remember climbing my first tree. I doubted whether or not I could even make it to the top. I thought that only birds belonged there. But every kid wishes they were a bird at some point. I was thirsty for their view for so long. So I set off, going up and up, one step and one branch after the other. My head poked out above the avo tree in our garden. I could see everything. I was above our roof, one of the coolest things a child can witness. I could see birds in the branches. They were below me. I could see the mountain in the distance. I wasn't just a spectator anymore. I was in the tree, above it even. I was part of its world, its ecosystem. I had its view. I had its perspective. I had, for a brief moment, what it has every day. I know I'm not the only one that had this feeling as a child. And that's why it is so sad to me that once we get older, we outgrow this desire for a tree's perspective. It's crazy to think a seed smaller than the tip of your finger can grow into something as big as a tree. Hundreds of years old, surviving fires, storms, and strong winds. Until now, I've only spent a handful of nights in a tree. One of them in a big white stinkwood tree. It was a windy night. I could feel the tree swaying in the wind. I was moving with it. And it was special. I laid there in my hammock in a pool of moonbeams and stars. It enlarged my perspective beyond the temporary concerns of my day-to-day life. If you take a step back, if you take a step up, you can see it too. They were made for you to climb. They were made to share their view with you. They were made to share their perspective. And you were made to take it.